Hello, and welcome to another episode of Manifesting with Feng Shui. I am so glad you are here. We are well into season 7, and I am here in one of my favorite spaces, Austin, Texas, Authentic Exposure with my friend Logan. Hey, Logan.
Hello, Christina.
How's it going?
Good. Things are good. We're doing our thing here. I love having you in the space. I love being a little voice on your podcast every now and then. So it's a lot of fun. I think I've mentioned this before in other ones that I've never had a client ask me to be on their podcast, be producer Logan. So I feel very honored. It's very special. And I enjoy our time together in the studio.
Were you surprised when I told you about my inspiration to ask you to be on the show?
Surprised, yes, but also not surprised and now knowing you. So
I told him earlier this season, I was like, I love Gabby Bernstein. I've loved, she's been a spiritual teacher of mine for so long. And I listen to her podcast every once in a while, and she has producer Josh come and, talk every once in a while. And I was like, I want a producer Josh. I was like, hey, Logan, how's it going? And he was like, you were it was just so cool. You were just you jumped right at it and you jumped right in, and you've been you just add such value. So thank you.
Thank you. It feels very harmonious with you. So
thank you. All right. Well, I'm so excited to dive right in to today's episode because it's one that's really, really close to my heart. And I feel like it's actually something that is applicable to everyone. Now, it may sound like it's very specific, talking about missing pieces. However, there's a couple of reasons why you want to be aware of the adjustments that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So just jumping right in, if you want to make things 10 times easier for yourself, make sure that you remedy any missing pieces in your home. So what this looks like is I've been to many consultations where especially the far back left or the far back right area of your home is missing. Okay. And so the far back left area is wealth, and the far back right area is the relationship area. In fact, I have a very dear friend and an incredible client. I've helped her feng shui 4 of her properties already. She does move around a lot, but she is moving into her forever home. It has been custom built, custom designed. The interior design is incredible. Everything about this home is magnificent. And what I will say is that when we were looking at her floor plan, there is a little bit of a missing piece in the wealth area, but not to worry. This is why she called me in. This is why she has me in her back pocket. She hired me. She's my very first one-on-one VIP sacred container client, which is the most exciting thing ever. I've always wanted to do this because I feel like my superpower is dropping in deep with people. So after her one-on-one consultation, it was her and her husband. After that, we are in Telegram together, and I'm sharing all of the most advanced wealth adjustments from my mastermind program with her, guiding her through that VIP style on her watch, whatever works for her. And then also she's going to be asking me questions about the interior design as she starts picking pieces out. And it's just such a dream to have her as a VIP sacred container client. But my point sharing this story is they custom design this beautiful home and it's missing wealth. And so we don't want missing wealth. So today's episode is really going to focus on if you have a missing piece in any area of your home, you can absolutely there's always a cure. Okay. So we're going to address that. And just to sort of exemplify this for you, when you think about the Wealth Gua map, and if you're not familiar with the Wealth Gua map, it's a free guide that's linked in the show notes. You can get my free mini course, get instant access to my Wealth Gua map, and download that right away so you can see it. And essentially, it kind of looks like a tic-tac-toe grid. And there's 9 different areas of life that are connected to your home, right? So in these 9 different areas of life, sometimes our home is not a perfect rectangle, or sometimes it's not a perfect square. And so when you have these odd shaped home floor plans, it can create a missing piece, right? So if you have a missing piece in wealth or relationships or fame and reputation, then you want to remedy this. And I want to give you one example of a house that I was in. This couple was having a challenging time conceiving. This is actually a very, very dear friend of mine. His name is Randy, and him and his wife, Megan, they were actually like one of my very first clients. It was like right when I got certified with Feng Shui. So gosh, it was probably like 2015 or 2016. I hadn't even been on HGTV or anything like that yet. And I was just like getting started, and I was just sharing a lot of different things on Instagram because I was in the process of writing my first book, and I was taking the Hay House Writers Workshop. And the very first thing they tell you when you're writing a book is they handed me Michael Hyatt's book, like platform. They're like, you need to build your platform. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start talking about Feng Shui on social media. And I had said something that resonated with Randy. And again, this is like a guy that we hung out at, he had bonfires at his house in high school. And this is after college, we all moved to Wrigleyville, which is, if you're not from Chicago, it's right outside of Wrigley Field. It was super fun. We just had such fun times together growing up. But that world of going out, hanging out at the bars and all of that, that world was very different from the world that I had started to move to when I started practicing manifesting with Feng Shui. So to hear from Randy, to hear him call me up and be like, look, we really, we're willing to try anything. We want a baby more than anything. We're willing to try anything. I saw you posted something, about how Feng Shui can help you manifest whatever it is you want, including having babies. Can you help us? And so when I got to their home to do their Feng Shui consultation, sure enough, the missing piece in their home was the relationship area. And the reason why this is so significant, especially if you're looking to have children, is that the relationship area represents the female energy of the home. So with, Megan wanting to conceive and have a baby, it was of course, we need to make sure that we remedy this. So during a one-on-one Feng Shui consultation, I'm able to provide them with an energetic adjustment to close that missing piece. So we did. And like Professor would always say, you can still do Western medicine and honor Western medicine along with practicing Feng Shui. So they still took the other, actions, working with doctors and started, IVF and all of that. And they were successful in less than a year, conceiving a baby. And it was just so exciting. And it's the most gratifying thing in the world just to see how Feng Shui can really support people, give them hope, and just change their lives so drastically. It's just my greatest joy. And so I tell this story just to exemplify to you how significant it is to, address your floor plan and notice if there's a missing piece and to make those changes. Now, maybe you don't have any missing pieces, but listen up. This is also for you if, let's say, you have a teenager who has a bedroom in the wealth area, and you're just I want to activate wealth. I want abundance and luxury and all of the goodness, right? But my teenage son's bedroom is in there. I don't want to even get close to that, right? Don't worry, because in Feng Shui, there's always a cure. So if there's an area of your home that you don't have a lot of control over, then you want to listen up. Or if there's an area of your home that's missing, then listen up. The remedy for this would be, and I actually suggested this to Randy and Megan, when we closed the missing piece to the relationship area, that wasn't the end of my recommendations for them. After that, I was like, okay, we also want you to activate the relationship area of different areas of your home so that you can still do adjustments to strengthen your energy, so to speak, strengthen your relationship, right? And also strengthen the energy of the female energy of the home. So that being said, this is what this would look like. If you are missing the relationship area of your home, Or let's say your teenage son's bedroom is in the relationship area of the home and you can't touch it. What you would do is you would activate the relationship area in different parts of your home. So for example, in your bedroom, in your primary bedroom, like when you walk in, the far back right area of your home, of your bedroom, is the relationship area. So then what you could do is then activate that area and that corner of your bedroom with your intentions, since it's missing in the actual floor plan of your home, or since it's like your teenage son's bedroom. So what does that look like? You add pairs of objects, the earth elements, shape of a square or horizontal rectangle, different things like that. 2 candles is great there because the fire energy creates earth. So you could also put your intentions there. And honestly, like if you are looking to conceive and like that is something that you truly desire, like I would put something like a flowering plant in the relationship area of your home, because that again represents the female energy of the home, represents all of the like fertility and like being able to do that. So even like I think like a light pink orchid, like something like that would be really great. But also professor would say like a plant that like bears fruit, like, I don't know, like a little orange tree or something like that would be amazing. So that is just like one example. But obviously if you're missing the wealth area, you could do there's different ways to close a missing piece for wealth. But then I would actually make sure I'm certainly activating the wealth area of my primary bedroom. Activating the wealth area of even your kitchen. So the way I like to describe that is like when you walk into your kitchen, like from the front door, the far back left area is the wealth area, or the far back right area is the relationship area. Okay. So just a little quick, I wanted to make this like a shorty episode, something really quick, something you could get from it. But also like, as I was like thinking about this episode, I'm going to like really shift gears, and it's something that I debated on whether or not I wanted to do, but I felt really, really called to share this story with you about my friend Randy, because my friend Randy has really made a profound impact on my life as a Feng Shui practitioner. And as I kind of said towards the beginning of the season, I've done a lot of growth in my life over the past decade. I mean, interestingly, I discovered Feng Shui during the year of the snake, like 12 years ago. And so here we are, 12 years later, and I've been on a journey of self-discovery and also like discovering what it means to design the life you desire, design the life you deserve using the manifesting wisdom of Feng Shui. And my friend Randy, sadly and tragically, he passed away just a few years ago. And he left me a note and a message that I will forever hold very close to my heart. And I say this to you because, we know life is short. It comes at you pretty fast. And if you don't stop and look around every once in a while, you might just miss it, right? But little Ferris Bueller for you. But the thing is, it's like sometimes we don't know the things that we say to somebody and how it really is going to impact us. Now, I want to read to you what he wrote to me, because I feel that the words that Randy said to me were like, they were profound at the time and so deeply meaningful. But of course, when you know it's the last message you'll ever receive from that person in your entire lifetime, it just gets cemented in your heart. And it's something I'll never forget. Like I said, like Randy, like we used to like hang out at Wrigleyville together, and I'd go visit. I visited him. I did a college visit. My mom took me down to Illinois State University, and he was like the nicest guy. And also have to tell you, he was like his Facebook, when you look at him up on Facebook, it's like the only Randon you'll know. Like that's what it's called, because his real name is Randon. And he's so funny. Like he was the funniest person, so witty, so smart. And honestly, when I think about it, I knew Randy since he was like in 7th or 8th grade. We knew each other since junior high. And he just was such a special person. And when I debated about sharing this message that touched my heart so much, I was just like, God, I'm like, well, life's pretty short. I'm like, would I be upset if someone was talking about me on a podcast after I passed away? And I'm like, no. I was like, I really had to think about this and put this in perspective. I'm like, no, like I want his legacy to live on and I want to honor him. And I also want to thank him for believing in me and for encouraging me from the very beginning of my career as a Feng Shui practitioner. Even though it felt super different, super weird at the time, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. God only knows that who knew I would ever like take it this far, but here I am. So one thing that's really interesting is I must have posted something on Instagram. I actually do remember it. It was like the summer. It was before I went on HGTV. All of that was in flux. Alice and Victoria had my business card. I had been in touch with the producers, but then COVID hit and I was like, shit, my dream to be on HGTV is ruined. And I posted something and just vulnerable. I don't know, talking about some type of insecurities that I was having and self-doubt, because here's the truth about being an entrepreneur and doing this work. It's like you're constantly being asked to feel the fear and do it anyway. Self-doubt, pushing through, right? It's like you have to just feel the fear and do it anyway. So whatever I said, Randy messaged me. And again, I didn't know he was sick. And Randy, I wish I would have responded differently if I had known. But this is what he said. And I want to share it with you as a source of inspiration for you, because enter your life here. Where is it that you feel insecure, or where is it that you feel like maybe you're being too much? And it's like, actually, the world needs your light in a way that only you can show it. And you just never know who you are going to be touching with whatever it is that you're sharing, right? So, okay. So Randy said, in response to something I had posted publicly, he sent me a direct message. And he said, Christina, oh my God. This was saved at 3:33 p.m., which is like crazy. I talked about that at the beginning of this season, which is crazy. Okay, Christina, everyone feels insecurities. We're all works in progress, but you are a source of great positivity. I can only speak for myself, but you share content that is uplifting and helpful. You are doing your followers and friends a great service. We all wish we could improve or emulate the features of others that we'd like to see in ourselves. But please do not doubt how important what you're doing really is. I appreciate it. And I said, hey, Randy, wow, that means so much to me. I will continue down this path because I feel called to do it. Not sure why I felt called to share such a personal post yesterday, but hearing from you makes it worthwhile. Hope you are well, and thank you again for the support. And he said, you're doing great. Thanks for all of the inspiration and encouragement. Yeah, so I wanted to share that message because Randy touched my heart very deeply. So did his wife, who I still keep in contact with, and his son, Benny. And I just want to say, like, you just never know how your words will impact others. And we all have self-doubt and we all have fear, no matter what level we make it to. And I just wanted to remember him because he was one of the very first people who believed in me. And that's all I have for you today. So thanks for being here. Logan, thanks for being in the studio again.
Of course. I mean, I love being here with you.
All right. All right, everyone. Well, I'll see you next time where I'll help you design the life you deserve. See you soon.